David Moyes has said we'll need to play better next week than we did tonight. No shit, Sherlock. There's so many things that frustrate me about that loss last night. It's the fact that we listened to the press conference and the confidence of David Moyes. We see the team selection, which is, our strongest team, questionably, apart from maybe Areola not featuring in the team. The fear of a player picking up an injury because we have the lack of depth in the squad, the fear of not utilizing our substitutions and not giving a run out to other players that, in my opinion, maybe deserved a bit of a run out to change the game, to change the dynamics, to change the system. So those fears set in last night and they fruitioned and became the nightmare of the game against Freiburg where we got beat 1-0. And do you know what? It wasn't a great game. I think on paper, we deserved to get something from the game. I and Russ did the review show last night, and we can sit here and discuss VAR. Listen, it's a disgrace. My opinion is it's a real disgrace. I've sat and I've looked and listened to reputable reports, and I've not found anyone at all that's really gone against it. That said that the referee made the right decision. He made the wrong decision, but I'm not here talking to you about that VAR decision, so we'll push that one to the side for a minute. And it was a disgrace, but we'll push that one to the side for a minute. It's just the fact that we've gone to Freiburg and we've played that way. I don't actually understand it. I don't get it because we are capable on the day of doing them over. Now, no disrespect to Freiburg, but they aren't great and they weren't great and they haven't been great in the 3 ties that we've played them. And it gives me confidence going into the tie against them at London Stadium next week that we can turn them over. But I don't want to get complacent with that mindset. I think we need to be confident going into that game and know that when we're on the ball, we can turn them over. But I just don't get the mindset of the game tonight. I don't get the mindset of playing a couple of balls out from the back and then smashing the ball forward. I don't understand that that's what you need to do against a team like Freiburg, especially when at one point, in particular in the second half, they hardly committed players forward. And they were relying heavily on the counter-attack. And there was nothing really happening from the counter-attack up until the goal. And it was just a lack of concentration from defence. Again, our problem, defence, that led to us being beat last night. And it's extremely, extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. I think we had chances. We should have put some of them to bed. And I do think we were getting better into the game, but that game just knocked the stuffing out of any form of attack. And Freiburg are going to come to the game next week, and they're not going to come at West Ham. West Ham are going to have to go at them. And do you know what? I said in the show last night, possibly in a roundabout way, it's probably a blessing in disguise. I wonder if it is. I'm really intrigued to see if it actually is, because it just gives West Ham the kick up the arse we really need. We shouldn't be going into that time. We shouldn't be getting beat 1-0 at home, even on their turf. I'm sorry, not for the performance that they put in, not from the quality of players that they've got, not from their all-round gameplay. It wasn't there. It really wasn't there. And David Moyes said himself, we didn't reach the standard of some of the players were below what we expect them to be. And it's easy for us to turn around and say, well, that, it's all on David Moyes. But we have to put some of the blame onto the players. Some of them weren't at the races today. They really weren't. One of the players I can call out a little bit is Paquetá, because he did this against Freiburg the last time on their turf. And we got away with it in the end by winning the game. But we were trying these flicks, trying these tricks, trying as if it was a given we were going to get the ball through. But they just had to be reasonably organised in the back line. And even at that time, when Freiburg were trying to be reasonably organised, they weren't. We were getting opportunities to get through. Again, just not putting the ball into the back of the net. I don't understand that. Their keeper, for me, is not great. And we should be testing him a lot more. And the way he made that save against Jared Bowen, the way he celebrated it, highlights the fact that it's a quick keeper down in confidence. We need to test that. I think we can turn them round. I'm confident we can do a job. I really am. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe we can turn them around. But the thing we've got, and did have and don't have anymore was momentum. We had momentum from winning 2 games on the trot there. And we had an opportunity tonight to continue that momentum going into the Burnley game. The Burnley game's huge for us at the weekend. Get a bit of momentum going into the game. 2 games in the London Stadium in 4 days, and that is a game changer for us. But we can't keep doing this. We can't be so up and down. We can't be so bipolar in our performances. It's actually ridiculous. There's no consistency. We're not just consistently crap. We're not consistently good. There's so many inconsistencies in our season. It's ridiculous. I've still got the faith that we can turn this round, but I do live in the fear that we don't have enough in the tank. I live in the fear that we don't have enough in the squad depth. I live in the fear that the players' mindsets are twisted in a roundabout way. But we'll have to wait and see what happens on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see what happens against Freiburg next week to see if West Ham advance through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. And maybe, like I said, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Who knows? There's my rant from the game. Join Rusty B as he brings you some of the West Ham content today as we prepare now for the Burnley game, because we need to push this one to the side, whether you like it or not. We have to push this one to the side and put the fully focus onto the Premier League game, and we can't afford a performance like that again. I'm done with those performances.